Hey again, guys. So I'm literally just recording these videos back to back because the other one again was already at 13 minutes. I'm like notorious for these super long videos, but I love talking to you. So, all right. This is going to be my kind of new cycle plan. Give you an overview of what the SIS ultrasound, how that went, and also just some other things that have been kind of on my mind. So I'll just jump right in and say that I had my SIS ultrasound this morning. I was really anxious about it. I started to get really, really anxious about it. And I had taken some ibuprofen beforehand. I guess part of the reason why I was anxious, as I mentioned this before, I wasn't feeling super happy with the doctor's office that I was going to. Now this is the same doctor's office that I went to for my second opinion with with the miscarriage, and the sonographer back then was so great, and the doctor was pretty great. It's just that lately I feel like, and it may have been the hormones, it totally could have been, the hormones crazy. I still have, I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see that bruise right there? That's a bruise from having my lab work done last week. So, I mean, I know, like, that's no big deal, and it's gotten better, but I just crazy. Anyway, so I just wasn't feeling 100% comfortable with the, with the office. I don't know why. I think it was hormones, because today's visit it was pretty good. And I had my husband with me today, so that could have helped. And I brought him along for that reason, because I was like, I really want you to see if I'm crazy. And he's just like, I want you to be happy. I want you to like where you're going, and I want you to feel comfortable. So, of course, he was just being super supportive. I'm sorry, I keep like scratching my nose, it's itchy. And I think I have like a hair. Okay. So anyway, gosh, you guys, sorry. Okay. So the ultrasound. The sonographer was the same sonographer that had done the one for the miscarriage, and her name is Gina, and she is super great. I love this lady. She's just always so nice and so, informative, and she talks to you. It's not like, okay, here, back at the other doctor's office that I had gone to when I was pregnant, the lady was like, here you go, stick this in, and I'll move it around or something. I mean, it's really weird for the transvaginal is what I'm talking about. So she's always just super nice. This lady is super nice, and she, I can see the screen, and she's just always, if I ask her any questions, she's so willing to answer them, and she just makes me feel really comfortable. So my husband was not allowed to come back during that part, and that was fine. When I went in, they laid me on the table, and she did the transvaginal ultrasound first, is what they normally do with these. And by the way, my doctor's office hadn't given me any information ahead of time of how the procedure went at all. It was all just from Google and from you ladies and from, a couple other apps that I'm on, kind of asking questions. So, whatever, that kind of annoyed me. But anyway, so they did the transvaginal ultrasound first, and she was like, yeah, your ovaries look great. She's like, I see a couple of follicles on there. She's like, this one looks great. Your uterus looks great. Your lining looks thin, because again, I'm on cycle day 5, so my lining should be pretty thin. And yeah, she was like, everything looks really healthy. I literally had the expectations of going in there, seeing cysts everywhere, that, string of pearls, cysts, and all of these things. And that wasn't the case. So she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go talk to your doctor and see if she even wants to do the SIS. So she ended up coming back in with my doctor, and they, did want to go ahead and do the SIS. And oh my gosh, it was so painful. It really was. I had done some research, and I had seen that it was going to be, what it was. So they insert the speculum, so they open you up, and I'm just laying on this like regular exam table here, and I'm like gripping the sides of the little table, like just, oh my gosh, once they kind of got it in. So they insert the speculum to open you up, and then they insert a catheter in through your cervix, and then it has a little balloon on the end of it. There's like a foam tip and a balloon, something. And I can't even describe the sensation. For me, it was like when I have my periods, I have really bad backaches, just super bad backaches, like so bad I can't get comfortable. It's just it cannot be soothed. And almost immediately that started, and the lady's like, oh, she can feel that and all this. And, I'm sitting here like breathing. I'm like, focusing on my breathing and looking at I couldn't even look at the screen, for a good bit. The whole thing, and they were very quick, but the whole thing lasted, I don't know, probably like 10 minutes. It was no time. But they took a lot of pictures. They looked at the ovaries. They looked at the uterus, looked at the lining, and it went really well. It hurt. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. And then I got out to my husband, and I was like, oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. I want to cry. So, again, as far as, and it was a saline-infused ultrasound, a sonohistogram. So I'm sorry if this is all over the place, but when they insert the catheter in, they use the balloon. I don't know what they do. I was in pain. But she was like, oh, you want me to, inflate the balloon or, unflate or whatever. And then they inject some of the, there's about like probably 10 to 20 cc's of saline. And they just inject some of that, and then she was like, do you want me to inject more? And she said that she could see some of the fluid going through the right tube, and then not so much through the left one, but that everything looked fine. And, yeah, it was crazy. So at that point, I went back out to my husband because my doctor was going to, kind of meet with us. And again, I still hadn't heard anything really definitive from the lab work that we did earlier in the month. And then also I had that fasting blood work done last week. So we ended up, going back in to see our doctor, and the doctor was telling me that she was really surprised that she didn't see, anything polycystic on the SIS ultrasound or any of the ultrasounds, because she said my lab work numbers were really indicative of, and really supportive of polycystic ovaries. So she was surprised. My fasting blood work came back fine, and there wasn't any sort of, any sort of weirdness there at all. So that came back fine. As far as the other stuff, the FSH, the LH, all of those things, the AMH, all of those things were indicative of polycystic ovaries. My FSH level was 9.73, I believe, and my LH level was like 23 something, and she was like, the ratio there is really indicative of, of polycystic ovaries. And then she also said, sorry, I'm like looking around, I'm trying to remember, I don't have this written down. And then she said my AMH level, normally they worry if the ovarian reserve is low and it's less than like 0.93 or something. And she said mine was at like 5 point something, and she said that's really high. She's like, and that is indicative of, usually of PCOS. So, again, she really didn't, she didn't diagnose me with it that I know of. Maybe she did, I don't know. She did give me this sheet of information for PCOS, and also the plan for moving forward is, she had said Clomid, and she'd also mentioned the glucophage, so metformin. And I had told her that I would really rather prefer moving forward with something that's going to just start to regulate my cycles, as opposed to jumping on board with Clomid at this point. We do want to get pregnant, as soon as possible, but I don't think that I'm ready yet. And I almost was. When she told me about Clomid, I was like, okay, maybe I should just jump on this train. But the three of us kind of decided that we were going to start with the metformin, and hopefully, get my cycles regular, and if I don't get pregnant just on that alone, that we will, do the two together, that we would do Clomid and the metformin together. So really, really hopeful from that. It was really great to see that my uterus is normal. It's not in a tilted position at all. It's just a whatever, normal, healthy uterus should be. My ovaries look great. I have follicles, forming, all of those great things. So it's great and it's not great. It is great. I praise God that everything is normal, quote unquote normal, and healthy looking, because I really didn't think that was going to be the case. But it is, at least from this ultrasound, and I pray that I don't have to do another one you know, for a while. I don't mind the transvaginal at all. Those are a piece of cake. But that SIS, oh my gosh. I know that it's not as bad as the HSGs. So, yeah, I just don't want to have to do it again. So anyway, I took my first metformin tonight. I'm starting with 500 milligrams this week per day, so I'm going to take those at night. And then next week I'll take, you know, they just step it up like they do with it every time. So I'll go to 1,000 milligrams a day next week, and then I'll bump it up the following week to the 1,500 milligram therapeutic dose per day the following week. So I'm excited that I'm on cycle day 5 right now, and that I have hope, and that I've seen my body, and I've gotten some answers. I don't know why the levels were off. That kind of worries me. I don't know. I don't have any answers there. But I'm really hopeful that the metformin, and my husband's super hopeful as well, that the metformin will help. She did say, you know, people who have PCOS who are overweight, they usually start them on metformin, they lose some pounds, and ovulation, you know, resumes pretty naturally. She said I mean, I'm normal, considered normal body weight, thin PCOS, whatever you want to call it. She said that's a little bit harder to treat usually, because I unfortunately don't have 10 or 15, 20 pounds that I can lose. That would not be good. So, you know, I don't know what to do. I don't know if you girls have any suggestions as far as diet goes. I'm definitely, you know, going to just continue to diet and exercise and do all that I can. Other than that, I don't know. I'm just going to hope and pray. I did win some digital OPKs from eBay. So I will be doing, this month, I guess I'll tell you, I'll be doing metformin. I will, and I don't even know when that's supposed to really start working, but I'll be doing metformin. I have some little cheapy OPKs from earlypregnancytest.com that I'll be using up until, because I don't know when I ovulate, and usually it's later in my cycle, like around day 21 or so. So I'll be using those, and then once I get those digitals, I'm going to use those digitals, which I'll have them way before then. I'll probably have them in a week. Once I have the digitals, though, I'll start to use those when either I see what looks like it might be a positive on the little cheapies, or, you know, kind of closer to that time where I know that I'll be, you know, expecting to ovulate. And I just hope and pray that I ovulate this cycle. I think that's the one kind of disappointing thing, because, you know, it's like, oh, great, I'm so excited that I'm starting this new cycle, but it's like, okay, well, will I even ovulate? You know, I hope I will. So I am doing basal body temping as well, diet and exercise. I'll be, you know, tracking my cervical mucus, cervical position. My doctor wants me to do those things. I have an appointment on September 28th, so that's a month from now, to come in, see how my cycle's going, see where I'm at, if she needs to do any more blood work, and, you know, just see how the metformin is going. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. Oh, and I'll be using Pre-Seed as well. We do have Pre-Seed, and we'll be using that. We did get pregnant when we used that last time, and it ended in a miscarriage, unfortunately, which I don't attribute to the Pre-Seed at all, but we did use it the last time. And what's the other thing I was going to say? Pre-Seed, I don't know. Maybe I'll think of it. Anyway, I was tempted to look at a few natural herbs and supplements, such as, you know, evening primrose oil, maca root, the Vitex, but I don't know what you guys think about pairing those up, and I don't know if I want to. I think I'm pretty set that I'm just going to let this cycle run with the metformin, because that's the newest thing, and just see what happens. So with the metformin, and see how my body responds to that. I'll be doing a couple of other videos. I don't know if it'll be tonight. I have a lot of time on my hands tonight. My sweet husband is out playing hockey, and he plays late, so I don't, unfortunately, get to go to all of those because I have to work early. But anyway, I'm hoping that he's doing well. But I did see a couple of little tags that I want to do. I want to do the ABC name tag, but I want to do mine with the meanings of names, because I absolutely love meanings of names, like what the names mean. And then also I want to do a 13 things you didn't know about me. So I'm excited. I'm going to end this video here, and I cannot wait to hear your responses. All right, thanks, ladies, and thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. I'm really excited. So thank you so much. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.